enough rising. It's enough rising.
Welcome
Hey,
everybody to
hey
the free
everybody.
live stream.
How's it going?
Good. I'm your host Edie Arndell. Sorry about my blue glove. I talk with my
No
hands.
blue glove. I'll get
And,
a glove.
how you doing today, Scott?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I heard things were not very good in Southern Illinois. Chicago didn't get hit hard, but yeah, I heard a rough night in Illinois.
Uh, yeah. I mean, I was up till 1 a.m. It was a little frightening. There was 2,000 tornadoes reported in this huge storm.
God, people,
Um,
climate change is here.
I
I
just
mean,
yeah. Do you have that graphic, Ariel? Yeah, look at this. So this is Ryan Hall, y'all. He's on YouTube. If you just search him, he does he live streams reporting and
was he on last night for the
oh
whole
yeah, for the
episode?
whole thing. And
See,
yeah.
yeah, I'm going to make my commentary that again, this is just such a perfect example of capitalism. So, uh, Fox Weather and Weather Channel, nothing. They shut down, on a Friday night, they'll shut down maybe 6, 7 o'clock. And so nothing. So no reports coming out, nothing that could possibly save people. They love to talk about how they're here to help people. But if there isn't enough people in the audience, which is late at night and on weekends, they just shut it down and run reality TV shows.
Yeah.
So I'm glad there is somebody out there who actually covers things in real time.
Yeah, he does, and he takes donations to give directly to like people that have been affected by storms.
Yeah.
They have people all over the country following it on the ground, the storm chasers. He's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And a live chat where you can ask questions and they try to get to them, but it goes kind of fast whenever a storm's going.
Oh,
And
sure.
if y'all want to know about my hand, I burned my hand, so I'm trying to trying to keep
It
it.
was not storm related.
It was not storm
You were
related.
not storm chasing.
It was tea kettle related. That's what I get for giving up coffee, right?
See, you're punished.
See,
Don't ever do
what are you
that.
gonna
Don't ever give this up. And I do iced coffees, so that's even funnier. I will never get burned.
Don't get burned.
No.
Yeah, I'm a hot drink person.
Okay.
Sure. So if you want real time updates, if there's storms happening in your area, I highly suggest him. He was told to me by my bestie Yvonne, which I talk about on here a lot. She gives me a lot of good information.
Cool.
And he seems like a good dude.
So have we heard any deaths, or has there been any reports yet? And
there was a trailer park wiped out somewhere, and it was really bad in Mississippi, and the storm was basically a third of the country.
I mean, I do watch, the hateful Weather Channel, which goes off at night. But I had heard now today, I think Birmingham, Alabama has a Torcon. If you folks know Torcon, it's a statistical kind of prediction of how rough the tornadoes are going to be. And it's a 1 out of 10. I've only seen it go to 5. For Birmingham, Alabama today, it's got a 9. So it's going to be a bad storm today out east. So
yeah, it's continuing today. So everybody be safe. Okay. Yeah. Pay attention, follow Ryan, and figure out your plan.
Yeah.
find your flashlight.
I know they always talk about the safe zone. I don't got a safe zone. I don't have one.
Well, the house we're in has a basement. And that's one of the things that I made sure that we had.
Okay, right.
And then they did this wild thing where they have like a steel plate in the basement that you can get under.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like kind of like angled. You can crawl under there in like emergency situation.
And I mean, that's the thing. That is the new reality. Everybody needs to know that stuff. I mean, I was joking, but everybody needs to know that stuff because it is here. I mean, it is absolutely. I do watch the Weather Channel just because climate emergency is here. Catastrophe. They're now calling it climate catastrophe. It is here. Every single day there are things that are horrific. Now fire is part of the news. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, California. I mean, LA almost burned down. And our guest on Wednesday is probably going to tell us a lot about that.
Who's our guest now?
Ashley Brown and Laura Wells.
Yes.
From California Greens are coming, and they're LA, I believe. So
Okay.
Yeah. Met them in Seattle, or met Ashley in Seattle. I don't know if I met Laura. I don't think so. But yeah, that's gonna be fun.
But the fires are just, and again, I think the issue is the high winds now that are so common that they had fire reports this week, New Jersey, South Carolina, Texas. I mean, everywhere because the winds are so strong that some little incident can just start a, if they haven't had rain in a while. So yeah, fire is now new weather.
And that's basically all of California.
Yeah.
California's been in a drought. I think
Right.
they were in a drought the whole 20 years I lived there. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Oh yeah.
And then the Santa Anas that come, it just like dries everything. So if somebody just randomly throws a cigarette or whatever,
Oh, and they do
burn down acres.
predictions. I was ragging on Weather Channel. Their predictions are very accurate. I remember the week before that the massive fire started in LA. They were like screaming, "You guys get ready. This is really bad." They knew, days in advance the Santa Ana winds were going to reach 100 miles an hour, so they knew it was coming. They were on that one.
The Santa Anas are no joke.
Oof.
They get. I mean, they used to give me nosebleeds
Wow.
because the air just gets so dry, and there's really not much you can do.
Wow.
Because I had an indoor outdoor job, so
Yeah.
truck drivers.
Yes.
I'm a working class girl.
Yes. We had a truck driver on our last show. Please go watch it. Alice Walker was amazing.
Oh yeah, she was
She's
great. She brought the
amazing.
fire.
Yeah.
So we did have some kind of sad news about one of our fellow Greens in Arizona.
Yeah.
Cody
Cody
Hanna.
Hanna,
There's an
yeah.
event tomorrow. Where did I write that down? Sunday. Trying to find it again. My apologies. I'll read it here in a second. So they're having an event in Arizona. If you're, I don't know if it'll be online. It might just be in person. But celebrating Cody. It's I am grieved almost beyond words. It's on Facebook. Where is the date? So Sunday, March 16th. So that's tomorrow. At 5:30 at Vista del Camino Park, 7726 East Portland Street in Scottsdale, Arizona. A little bit about him. Trying to juggle here. Sorry, guys. So he was co-chair of Arizona Green Party. And this is the statement they released. It is with profound sorrow and heavy hearts that the Arizona Green Party State Committee shares the devastating news of the passing of our beloved comrade, Cody Hanna. Cody was not just a leader, but a beacon of hope, dedication, and unwavering commitment to justice. He served as co-chair of the Arizona Green Party from 2021 to 2024, leaving an indelible mark on our party and our community. In 2022, he ran for Chandler City Council and again in 2024 for the Arizona State House of Representatives in District 13, driven by a relentless passion to create a more inclusive, equitable, and compassionate world. And that's kind of, I don't know what happened. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But that's who Greens are,
Yeah.
Yeah. We're very passionate, dedicated people. We get in there and do the work, and we do not disappear. What disappears is the coverage. So that's why we do the live stream.
Disappears of us, right?
Yeah, they disappear us.
Absolutely.
And, yeah. So speaking of people getting disappeared.
Yeah.
The third thing we were wanting to talk about was Mahmoud Khalil arrest.
Yeah, right. So I think he is now in a prison in, I think, Louisiana. Supposedly it's because they want to go to a specific judge that's just definitely going to deport him. I still don't think they have an official charge. He has not been charged yet. So this is really, really, it's a horrific situation. the promising thing is just the outpouring of support. I mean, the protests have been massive, and especially in New York, they took over Trump Tower in New York, and so that has been hopeful. But yeah, he was just basically like us, an organizer. He just kind of planned an event. I mean, he never had any coffee on or anything. He was just one of the organizers, and I guess they decided to pick on him because he has a green card, which means you have a legal status in this country. But that was enough for them to try to, I guess it worked for Trump's base, right? So,
They like to otherize people,
right.
And well, he wasn't born here, so why is he important?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But what people are missing is that goes against our laws, because there's no charge. They picked him up without a charge.
Right.
For speech, and he is here legally. He did everything right.
Right.
He has his wife is 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And so he's married, a baby on the way, and he did not do anything but say, hey, can you free Palestine? Let's do a ceasefire, basically. He organized an event.
Right.
And
Organized.
To that
That's all he
point,
did.
none of us are safe.
Oh, God, no.
If the law doesn't apply, it doesn't apply to any of us. This is what I'm trying to stress to people. If you've been here a little bit, with my friend's dad, I'm like, he didn't do anything wrong.
And if people remember in Trump's speech, I mean, although I apologize if you actually watched the thing, he was championing free speech. Free speech is back. Yeah, right. Except Israel. Everything about that administration is a caveat, except Israel. Oh, we're not sending bombs anymore, except Israel.
Yeah.
So
for all of you that think that that's over in Gaza, you're wrong. It never really stopped. It just slowed down, and now they have cut off electricity and aid again.
Oh yes. I don't know if I shared that graphic, but yes, I think has it been 5 or 7 days? No food. They've cut off the electricity, no food or water going in. It's a really desperate situation right now. And of course, that's when they're cracking down on the protests here in America. And Aria, I'm going to share that graphic, or Aria, if you want to share the graphic of the event that we're doing in Illinois Green Party, which is just an ongoing general strike. And so the 7th of every month, we are asking people to make no purchases, post this general strike and anything about Palestine on social media on that day. Now, these two are qualified. Call in sick for work if you can. Stay at home from school if you can. We're hoping that this builds, and especially like high school students take that on in terms of staying home from school. We hope this can grow each month. The harsh reality is and this was Edie's idea to make it monthly, because this is not going away. And the main reason that this issue will not go away, it will not get solved anytime in the future, is because every single one of our politicians, except I think Thomas Massey, Republican, but I think every single one is funded by AIPAC to huge amounts of money. Mm-hmm. And so that's why there has been nonstop sending of bombs to slaughter Palestinians by Democrats and Republicans alike. And so we will need to be doing this. Our demands are that the U.S. government enacts an immediate arms embargo on Israel. Stop sending the bombs. Marco Rubio just did one of those runarounds where he skipped the Congress and sent $4 billion more in bombs to Israel. I think that was last week.
Yeah.
Stop.
So don't buy the spiel that Trump fixed it. He did not. He failed.
No. I mean, I do appreciate that there is a ceasefire. Let's not forget, the Democratic Party is the genocide party. They did genocide for 15 months. But it's not a real solution in terms of the killing continues. And now the starving, shutting off electricity is happening. So it's a brutal situation there. And
yeah. And let's see what Bernie had to say about Mahmoud Khalil.
Bernie, he's
Bernie,
really supportive of our protests against
he's
genocide.
A good guy, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Bernie.
Hi.
Hey, we're really worried about Mahmoud Khalil out of Colombia.
Okay, excuse me.
Will you do?
Excuse me.
Will you do
Excuse
a statement?
me.
Thank you.
Will you put out a statement?
What did I just say? I got to go to a rally now. Excuse me.
I
We're
understand
just walking
but
with
this
you.
is really, really dire. This is means
It's urgent.
They're coming after this student.
It was they illegally kidnapped him.
Yeah, that's charming. And you notice how friendly he was until he heard the subject matter. That's the key part of that. And I'm sure all the Democrats, and he's a Democrat, all the Democrats have been told to shut up on this one, stay out of it, because when it really, really gets real, the Democrats stay silent. That's the thing.
He was actually angry.
Yeah,
You
right.
could feel.
How
you
dare
could
you?
feel he was pissed, man. Like, oh, you're not gonna be here to kiss my behind
Yeah,
and
for
kiss the ring or whatever, and like,
right.
oh, Bernie, you
And
say
support my oligarchy tour. Oh my God.
yeah,
I
which
mean,
means, hey, let's give the Democrats another shot, even though they lost spectacularly and they supported genocide. Let's just, don't worry about that, because Trump's bad.
yeah, it is too bad that people still fall for him after he's been a fraud ever since 2016 because he refused to leave the Democratic Party, go independent, go Green Party, whichever, to leave that system. He refused to do it, and he turned around and supported Hillary Clinton. So he's been a fraud ever since then, and it's sad that people still fall for it, but they still seem to be falling for it.
And it was my understanding that Jill offered him the Green Party ticket.
Oh, that's right.
In
I forgot about
2016.
that.
He could have built third party in 2016. He had the movement. He had the money.
He had the structure with the
He had
Green
the
Party.
structure. He chose not to.
Right.
So
Wow,
I'm sorry for all you people that think that he's on your side. Bernie's a sellout, and I'm a slow learner, but I'm getting better because I supported him in 2022.
I was 2015. I was a huge. I mean, I had the sign in the window with the little lights on it. I was a huge Bernie supporter, as almost all of us in this sphere were. We all were, and you don't know at what point whether the whole thing was a scam, but true that it was a scam after what they did to him and he didn't leave.
Well, and I'll say the reason they do this is to keep us from getting momentum. This is the reason. Because if they can keep you, stringing you along and putting that carrot in front of the donkey, like just keep walking. That carrot's there. You see it, right? You're never going to get there. We're never going to get it for you. Right. We're not going to pass health care. We're not going to raise the minimum wage. We're not going to stop wars. We're not going to cut the defense budget. We're not going to, stop sending bombs to Gaza. We're just not going to do any of that. But, you see this carrot, we talk about it. So just keep following and giving us money.
Right.
When you could spend that money here, and we will never do that because we do not accept those donations. Citizens United does not apply at the Green Party.
No. And that's why he's worse. That's why he's worse. At least with, Republicans or people who are pro-war, but you get their stance. He pretends that he's for these things, because if he was truly for these things, he would do things to get them enacted. And that's what he does not do. Yes.
I don't know if y'all caught Brianna Joy Gray's interview with Jamal Bowman. Oh my gosh.
You have to, and really Sabby Sab's commentary on it. That's kind of where I would go. Are you watching both?
Better. Yeah.
It was, first of all, I got to say, I was astounded. Maybe I shouldn't be anymore. Jamal Bowman was just like, it sounds weird to insult, but like, he doesn't even know how to bullshit. I mean, the guy really has no talent. And yet I'm starting to realize that that's what the Democratic Party does. They find people who are just kind of sitting there waiting to be manipulated and willing to be manipulated. Those are the ones they pick. I mean, look at, Kamala Harris. I mean, word salads that come out of her mouth. She really she's not, she's not a brilliant politician. They don't want brilliant politicians in the Democratic Party.
They want people that will fall in line.
Who fall in line.
Absolutely. Yep. And one thing he mentioned, which I don't know if Sabby covered, was he's trying to get 5 million voters. I'm like, and take them where?
Right. Exactly.
And take them where?
But even
that's the Democratic Party, that's what you're going to do. After they ousted you, they allowed you to be redistricted and they let APAC go against you, and they kicked you out, but you're still gonna kiss their butt.
Yep, they're still gonna kiss. Right,
That is just
exactly.
incredible to me.
That's exactly his character. That
Yeah.
is what his character is. And it was actually, I just watched Brianna Joy Gray and Jamal Bowman and just thought, she's the independent journalist who has to kind of scrape a living. He's funded by the Democratic Party.
Well, not anymore.
It's like, I know, but still, he's still sucking up to them, right? He's still trying to get back in.
Yeah.
And you looked at the character of those people. I mean, it is brilliant to listen to Brianna Joy Gray. I cannot recommend her enough. You just hear her analyzing her questions, so she'll get them exactly right. I mean, the woman
It's
is
just the thing,
absolutely, she's brilliant. She is just brilliant.
I love this. This is like, can we just
Oh.
on this piece? And he interrupted her so much, I was mad.
Well, it's just, and again, and when it was time for him to answer, I mean, the gobbledygook that comes out of him was, again, he can't even bullshit. He doesn't have that talent. Like RFK Jr. could bullshit. That man could bullshit. He couldn't even do that.
And Trump is an expert bullshitter.
He's good.
He'll lie to your face, and
He's good.
he'll change the lie tomorrow, and the people will still believe it. He's really good at that.
But yeah, highly recommend both of those videos. Go check them out on YouTube. Maybe we'll throw some links in. It was worth watching, and it was really good. We love Savvy Sabs. And the reason that we love Savvy Sabs, she really emphasized this. What she is tired of the left space, this world that we live in, of everybody just insulting each other and just complaining and having no solutions. She goes, I want solutions. And she said she sees the Green Party as a solution. And that is absolutely the case. A Green Party is a solution. It's a way to get people into government who actually do the laws that you want and the laws you don't want, and not have somebody on top of them and Nancy Pelosi pounding down on them to make sure that, they don't do the good work.
Yeah, Jamal Bowman admitted, because I think Bree asked him, so it's like you guys were scared of Nancy Pelosi. And he's like, yeah.
Right.
Like, kind of under his breath. Jamal Bowman.
Oh, he totally said that the Democratic Party was corrupt. I mean, he fully admitted it, and yet wasn't willing to come up with a solution. She suggested, why don't you talk to the Green Party? Because he's been told not to. And she even said, that the Democratic Party has spent millions trying to destroy the Green Party. He just sat there. I mean,
they're
oh
very
my
bad
God.
at their job.
They are.
And if the Green Party where you live is not active, it only takes 3 people to start a chapter.
Yeah.
And make it what you want. Go in there, find a way to participate if it's become inactive where you are. But in a lot of places, it's very active. Illinois has been fired up since Jill.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Scott and I do a lot of work. We've done screenings. We do events all the time. Like, yeah, there's a lot going on. And
you're right. You make it what you want it to be. I mean, we're just kind of taking the Green Party and going with it, right? And I think that's the kind of the beauty of it. And I know that we have a lot to kind of fight against in terms of, there's a public persona that, like, being in electoral politics isn't cool. I mean, there really is that stat, and we got to fight that, and we got to kind of shame those folks too. I mean, the Black Panthers, coolest group ever, political party. They ran people for office, right? Yeah. So no.
So
I mean, it's just
it is just another tool. We need all the tools. We need to not, don't set down your hammer because you got a screwdriver.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
They are using every tool in the toolbox against us. We need to use all the tools we have, and what we have is strikes, boycotts, divesting, and
protests,
and
yes,
electoral politics.
Yes.
Donate to your local Green Party. Donate to the Illinois Green Party. We got a lot of plans coming this year, and we're going to need some cash,
Yeah.
And almost everyone that is in the Green Party are volunteers, like probably 99%. There's a few people that have been hired, but just super, super part-time. Yeah. So your money will be well spent. And if you have
Yes.
more time, you can volunteer. We're going to need phone bankers and door
We
knockers and
Yeah, we're starting a campaign to try to get 260 for 2026 to get 260. We should put up the graphic, maybe if I can find it as I'm talking. We want 260 folks to pledge in 2026. So we're giving you plenty of time, but we need people to get signatures on petitions. So just to be out at your local food market or what, or, any event going on or close to trade station or something, just where there's a lot of people congregating,
Mhm.
and to get signatures. We are going to have a whole slate of candidates running for office in 2026, and we're going to need assistance to get them on the ballot. The state of Illinois, as in many other states around the country, has made it extremely difficult for independent parties to get on the ballot. Like, the signature requirements are 10 to 100 times more higher qualifications than the Democratic and Republican parties. And Edie probably has some
Let me
stats.
read it too. Yeah.
Yes, give us some
So,
stats.
okay. So this is only for Illinois. This is District 1, and this is for the U.S. House of Representatives. This is the petition signature requirements. If you're a Democrat, you only need 844. If you're a Republican, you only need 370. If you're an independent, you need between 12,227 to 19,562. And if you're a new party, you need 12,227. And that 12,000 to 19,000 has a caveat because the Democrats hire lawyers to go through it. Or they work in the office with a fine tooth comb, baby.
No, well, they
And
sue
any
us.
signature they can throw out, they will throw out. So you have to at least double it.
Yeah.
So you got to figure that's for that office. That's not all of them.
I mean,
think
they sue us. They take us to court every time,
Yeah.
is what they do. So we have to pay for the lawyers for that too, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
So they make sure that it is as hard as possible to get on the ballot. They don't mainstream media doesn't cover us at all.
No. And then when people complain that we show up every 4 years, well, there's a reason that it's extreme why you might not be seeing us in your particular state, because they've made it that way to make it extremely difficult. But we are going to work on it. We're going to reach that goal. So that will be starting from the petition gathering will be from March 26th, around March 26th to June 26th of
Okay.
2026. So we got plenty of time, and we'll have it on the our website, ilgp.org, where you can sign up and just say yes, you'll help us out.
Soon.
Yeah.
260 volunteers to get
200
260 signatures
signatures.
each, which means only 20 a week. And if you've ever done signature gathering, it's super easy to get signatures. You just go to your farmer's market. I was averaging 30 to 40 every Saturday in like 3 hours.
Yeah. And
So
it's fun. If you do it with a friend and you're hanging out, people love to talk. If you like to talk politics, once you start engaging people, they love. Yeah. So it is actually really fun. It is fun to do it.
yeah, I mean, you'll get some people that, get a little miffed at you, but you just let them go.
Yeah.
And always be kind.
Ah.
Because that is, and listen. So this is something I learned from some signature gathering I did in 2024. I had a lady come up to me at the indoor farmers market, and I had all these issues laid out, all the stuff that we care about, all the justice things, right? And her only thing was, she's pro-life. And I'm like, so I just listened to her. I'm like, I understand, I said, I don't happen to agree, but that's okay. I mean, this is America. I don't have to agree with you.
Right.
And I kept like waving my hand. I'm like, what about all these issues? This is about life, being anti-war. This is about life, getting health care. This is, I just, I let her give her spiel. So then she actually listened to me because I let her talk.
Yeah, there you go.
Try to cut her off. And she actually went to her car, and came back and signed my petition.
Nice.
She's like, I wasn't going to, but I felt like I was heard. And so I may not vote for this person, but I'm going to at least allow them to be on the ballot. That's all we're really asking.
Right.
Just
Right.
get us on the ballot, and then we'll make our own. You
Right.
make your own decision when you vote.
Right. And that this is, the original idea of democracy, right? To have choices. So, yeah, and I do get that quite a bit, that people are willing to sign the petition because they realize that that is important to have choices on the ballot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think? And that's how we got here. There are
Yeah.
no choices. There's genocide A or genocide B.
Right, exactly. Those were the choices. That's the thing about the Jill Stein campaign. You had an anti-genocide choice. So that's what made it so important to have that. It really was important because that was a really discouraging setup. Is a lot of people were ending up voting for genocide because they didn't want Donald Trump. We have to have a different option. We have to, because this will continue. It'll be the nightmare of 2028 and the nightmare of 2032 if we get that far. I guess I understand people are talking about that, and I see it too. I mean, it's a scary time we're in. Yeah.
Well, and one thing I will say, if you're familiar at all, which I haven't read the deep history, but Chris Hedges talks about it. Weimar Germany, that party that was in charge, is how the Nazis came to power, because they were ineffectual. They talked and they did nothing, and
Okay.
it opened the door. And this is what the
Yeah.
Democratic Party did for Trump. They
They
opened the door.
absolutely opened the door. They just handpicked a horrific candidate. Really. I mean, I can give people credit where credit's due. And she had nothing to offer, and she wasn't even picked by the base. They
Hillary.
didn't pick her. No, I was talking about Kamala this time, but
Oh, I
they
was
didn't.
talking about Hillary.
Oh, okay. But in this particular case, they did not even have the choice of Kamala or somebody else, or an Elizabeth Warren, or Pete Buttigieg, or some. They
Marianne
didn't even,
Williamson, even
right.
with all her issues, she would be better than Kamala.
Yeah. And yet they didn't. The Democratic Party did not let the Democratic base have their choice. That's a problem.
That is authoritarian.
Yeah.
And so every time you get upset about Trump, and I am getting a little frustrated with people that do the play-by-play, and all they want to do is whine about Trump. I'm like, yeah. So what are you doing? What's your plan?
Yeah.
You can sit there and cry about what he's doing, but how are we going to stop it? Just sitting there and complaining does nothing.
Yeah.
And it actually does not make you feel better.
Yeah.
It makes you
Right.
more worried.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't pay attention, but don't focus on it. I have some of my friends that, oh my God, like I can't even listen anymore. And that's just reading texts and stuff. Like, no. I want a solution. I want to like get busy. I want to like fight back. Like, we got a small window here because dictatorships are very fragile in the beginning. So if you don't want a dictatorship, you need to join something. Of course, we decided Green Party because we have the electoral advantage. We had 400 electors in 2024, and like 95% of voters in the entire country could have voted for Joe. So next time, do not vote for the red or blue genocide.
Right.
They are bought by the same people. They are all funded by AIPAC, and they will never give you what you want.
That's the issue. The Democrats will never give you anything that you want. Anything. And people should not put up with that anymore. I mean, the only way that they might give you something is if the Green Party really rises to the point where, oh my God, they are going to lose to the Green Party. Then they might give you something. But until that happens, it ain't happening.
Well, this is a little off script.
That's fine.
Angela Walker mentioned Robert S. Rose last week. He was a young man, a veteran, who was killed by police in Dorchester, North Carolina, Dorchester County.
Okay.
Because he was having an episode. I mean, they send both parties approve war. They send our young people, men and women, to war to do horrible things.
Yeah.
And then when they come back, they're like, figure it out. There's so many homeless veterans. And you can't get medical care. There's a provision unofficial, I'm sure, where they try to, after you get back from war, of course you're not well, so they punish you instead of help you, and then you can't get your benefits either.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, it's so much there that I was kind of surprised that when I was researching for my Veterans Day email that I sent, that Green Party, National has a GI Veterans Bill of Rights,
Yes.
and that was part of it. I'm like, so that is a thing. It's not my imagination.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Calling police instead of a social worker, or to a veteran that has been trained to kill, y'all.
Oh, God.
That's having a mental health crisis. Do you think
Right.
that's a good idea at any
Right.
time?
Right.
Like,
Mm.
So,
Yeah. So, and yeah, we wanted to lift up his voice because that's what Angela was saying, is that he's not being recognized. I mean, I know there's a million things going on in the news right now, so I'm sure that's the main reason. But yeah, we need to spread the awareness because, right, the situation still exists in this country. The police kill black men over and over and over, and women over and over and over. It just does not stop.
Sandra Massey in Springfield, right here in
Yes.
Illinois.
Right.
She was shot, and she was the one that called for help.
Yes.
And the police entered her home. They caught the guy on camera. Not the dash cam, but the whatever.
The body cam.
Body cam. And he had shut his off. And she was unarmed. All she was like, had a pot of water when they came in.
Right.
And he told her to put it down. She put it down, and he was still screaming at her, and she was down on her knees. And he's like, "I'm going to shoot you in the face." And then he did.
Yeah.
So our police are out of control in some places, and there's no accountability.
None.
And
you're not going to get a solution from the Democrats. Their solution to Black Lives Matter and George Floyd was to increase police funding. So
here's how I'm seeing how they work together.
Yes.
So the Democrats do things while people aren't paying attention. They build cop cities.
Right.
They fund things. They send our police forces, military grade equipment. That's why you see all these shields and all this, they look like they're invading your community instead of protecting your community. And then, a Republican like Trump will get in, and then they can just utilize all those tools that they just set them up,
Yeah.
Martial law would not be that hard. Now, thank you, Democrats, for setting up the tools, and then we don't know, Trump might pick them up. So this is what we're saying.
Right.
They
Obama,
are at the end. They will destroy this country completely if we allow it.
Obama got rid of habeas corpus, which Chris Hedges sued on. I'm pretty sure he was the one that sued. Did he win? I don't know.
He did win on that.
But Obama set up the rules that allowed what's happening now that Trump did. They love to talk about with Mahmoud Khalil.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about the times when the Democrats are in power, it's public-private partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
They use nice words for privatization, whereas Donald Trump's bringing Elon Musk to throw hatchets around. So they do similar things. Trump does them in much, more horrific, right in your face ways. But the Democrats are doing, but the Democrats are doing things too.
So what's going on now, in my opinion, is the same as like a military campaign, is a shock and awe. This is why they got everybody's head spinning. So what we need to concentrate on is building in your community, building your relationships, finding alternative sources for food, plant a garden. It's planting season right now, and work with your neighbors and friends and communities to make sure that you have safe spaces to be, and because that's what we're going to need. We're going to need each other.
Yeah.
This is not going to go away overnight. We're going to have to fight. I mean, we've been through this before. The oligarchs have, the robber barons have, this is their third try. They're trying to go for the coup de grace or whatever.
Yeah, no, this is the worst.
They want the world now.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say 1984 was not a user manual. It was a warning.
Yeah.
This is We were trying to warn the people, not give them tools.
Yeah.
Love Mr. George Orwell. He had very wonderful foresight. Um, yeah. So I didn't know if we want to talk about the postal.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, absolutely.
Um,
Oh, again, speaking of privatization, here we go.
Yep. So do we have a graphic for that, Ariel? Or you want to screen share the NALC.org, I believe it is. So the post office is having a rally. They're trying to destroy it. The post office is older than the country itself. I
Yeah.
believe it was founded by Benjamin Franklin.
I think you're right. That sounds right.
And it is a way of communication. It's how a lot of people get very important documents and things like that. And they are trying to privatize it. It started with George W. Bush. I have a long memory for odd facts,
Mm.
but I remember when George W. Bush, and I don't remember who the Congress was. I feel like it was split, but they all just vote in favor of stuff. They rubber stamp it. He forced them to fund their pensions
Right.
like into the future, which
I
stripped all the
remember
money
that.
out of the organization, so they had to raise stamp prices, and they've been struggling ever since. So it is created. Those kind of things are policy choices. Did you find it, Ariel?
And
Um,
if you think about again, it's a government service. They love to say, well, it's not making money. It is a government service. The
yeah,
point, it's socialism. The point is you
there
can
it is.
send a letter next
Tell
door,
her.
or you can send a letter to Alaska, same price. That wouldn't exist in a privatized system where you got to pay the CEO and all the shareholders to make sure they keep making that money.
Yep.
That's the point. That's what
can't-
privatization does.
They
It
can't
makes
stand there's money they can't have. They can't
right.
stand it.
And it's it's like one person, right? It's somebody who wants to take it over. It's an Elon Musk. I don't know in this case who it is, but it is one person who wants to become the CEO. That's what privatization is.
Yeah.
Instead of sharing the resources with everyone across the country, it's
Right.
letting one person determine prices, determine where locations, determine everything.
And service.
Service,
Because
absolutely.
there's a, I mean, we'll get to this in just a second. Leave it up, Ariel. There's a place in my city. It's Fairfield Apartments. Not the richest part of town or whatever, just and a postal worker was attacked by
Okay.
some random person. They discontinued service
Oh
to
my God.
this apartment building because one thing happened. And I don't think that's the postal carriers doing that. I think they're treating it like a business. Like, oh, that's dangerous, so we're just not going to do it. But this is a service that needs to be provided. I mean, postal workers have tools, they got mace, they have things, and but they're out there in the public. Things are occasionally going to happen.
Yeah.
And they don't even know who the person was, as far as I can tell. But you just decide to just ditch this whole community because something happened. That's crazy.
No, that's terrible.
And that's the business model. So Fight Like Hell on Sunday, March 23rd, next Sunday. NALC branches, NALC, can't read, branches are hosting local rallies to say hell no to dismantling the post office. With branches holding events nationwide on the same day, we're sending a clear, unified message. Hands off the USPS. Why are we fighting? And they got a flyer there. This is NALC.org, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. You want to go to Illinois, Ariel? There's a bunch in Illinois. Check this out. So
Right.
Chicago.
There's the South Dearborn. Yep. The big branch
There's
there.
one in Springfield. I'm going to the one in Carbondale. That's where I live.
Yay.
Peoria, Rockford, and Galesburg, which is
There we
where
go.
Peter Schwartzman is running for mayor again. So
Yes.
everybody vote for Peter.
Yes, he is a Green Party. He's a mayor of Galesburg, and
He's
yes,
running for re-election.
yes,
So those elections are coming up really soon,
April 1st. Yep.
which seems kind of funny. It's April Fool's Day. And I don't know, but my ballot was definitely an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
I don't live in the city of Carbondale. I live in the county, and everything was a Democrat running for something.
Yeah.
And no opposition at all. So why even, what's the point in that? I'm not saying voting is not important. Of course it is, but if that's all the candidates you have, come on, that's just a rubber stamp. There we
Yeah.
go.
We do have one more Green Party candidate running for Park District of Medina, DuPage County, Gokan, Coco Roof, Chukarova. Thank you. My pronunciation terrible. So yeah, he's also running on April 1st. So we have a few candidates in
What's
Illinois.
up, Surviving Dave?
Hey, how's it going? All right.
Good to see ya.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking about comments because I put it on the big screen so I could read them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so get out there and support your post office because they're going to steal that too.
Yeah. Oh,
and
God.
oligarchs. So the other difference between the Democrats and the Republicans, Democrats want to do the same things. They want to privatize it, but they want it done in an orderly, nice fashion, so they can control it. Okay, oligarchs like Trump and Musk and Bezos and all those jokers, whatever you want to call them. I have lots of salty words thinking, but I won't say them. They want to create chaos so they can steal for themselves. Musk is self-dealing. Like, he got his own government contract, but he's in there cutting corruption.
Oh yeah, no. It's complete conflict of interest. I mean, he's in there with the air traffic controller situation and trying to tie in Starlink. So there's no doubt. Yeah, he's just in there to grab for himself. It's complete. It's just the really raw side of the private-public partnership that the Democrats do. But this is the raw version. This is the go in and steal version.
I would say it's the brutal. Real version.
Yeah, it's the brutal version.
It's the what was I saying the other day? Like, Band-Aid off kind of
wow.
version.
Horrific. I mean, the one good thing is that the courts are reversing a lot of his fires. Mm-hmm. Thousands of people are back on their job because the court said, you can't do that. So that's been a positive.
Yeah. Yeah. So we at least have a little bit of, for now.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't have time to wait, y'all. We gotta take something back in 2026.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody saw those. The veterans I think they were in DC.
Okay.
On status quo. That was incredible. Although they do have a bit of a blind spot. They think that the peace deal with Russia is a bad thing, and peace is a good thing. I don't care who's doing it. Even a broken clock can be right twice a day.
I mean, it's interesting what's going on there. I guess I could talk about it a little bit. I've been trying to follow it. And so, right, they want to have a ceasefire, which was kind of I have to give them credit, right? It's like, how can we be against a ceasefire, right? But the issue is that it is a war. See, that's one of the big differences. This is a war. Palestine, that's just a bombing of an open air, prison. That's what they're just bombing Gaza. That's not a war.
It's occupied territory.
It's occupied, and they don't have their own army. This is just, it's just bombing. That's all that is. So that's why we needed a ceasefire to just stop the bombing. Now, the other one is a war, and it is, that they know from the previous negotiation. I think it was the third. There were the 2 Minsk Accords and then that third one. And I think it was the leader of UN, EU, admitted later that really that time of negotiation was just to be able to get more military equipment to Ukraine. So that was the point of it. So that's why, Putin's like, oh yeah, ceasefire, right? He wants a ceasefire that's an actual, really just a peace agreement that will stop the war. That
will stop U.S. and Western aggression against his country. Not saying he's a good dude.
Of course not.
This is what y'all have to understand. I am 100% sure he's done some horrible things inside of his country. However, that does not excuse our actions of promising him or promising Russia that we would not bring NATO 1 inch closer to their borders. And what did we do? What started this whole thing? 2014.
Right.
We overthrew their Ukraine's democratically elected government.
Right.
It's called the Maidan coup. Look it up. And we installed Nazis and Nazi sympathizers because we wanted to get at Russia. And it was over Ukraine joining NATO, which is breaking our promise. So we're a bunch of liars. And I don't know why anybody would trust a damn word we say anymore until we get a government that cares about people, that takes care of its own people, and is a good nation among nations, not an empire that wants to just control and destroy and steal and overpower.
Right. And Ukraine had neutrality previously. And neutrality meant they weren't biased towards Russia, they weren't biased towards EU in the West. So they had neutrality. Well, they ended that when they allowed NATO to come in and just start, flooding with the weapons, training. And so that's what Russia wants back. And the reality is, people, it's a nice story to think these two countries are fighting each other, that there's some chance Ukraine will win. Ukraine could never win. They could never win. They are 100th the size of Russia. And the army, the Russian military is a massive, massive operation. Ukraine had a few folks. I mean, now we've been flooding it with equipment, but you notice we didn't flood with American troops. So we could say we love Russia. I mean, we love Ukraine, but we didn't support them to bring any American bodies and put them on the line.
That's all I
right.
gotta say.
Absolutely. But that's the point.
Yeah, we'd rather use the Ukrainian people.
Right. We are using Ukrainian bodies to get at Russia, to try to bleed their military. That was the point. It was also to set up to try to do massive sanctions, which failed. People.
How's that working for you?
Yeah. Right. It did fail. I mean,
Yeah. And what's it all about? They want their natural resources.
And they want to destroy Russia. That's why NATO exists. They want to destroy Russia because the people that run our country are a bunch of psychos, and they think that we have to be the number one world leader. I mean, they lost that a while ago with China, but they still have this concept that they have to be the world leader.
Yeah, and if you want to go a little deeper into the Maidan coup situation, once their government was overthrown and we installed our puppets, they began attacking the eastern section, the Donbass region, and whatever the Donetsk, yeah, of Russian-speaking people. So they started attacking people that were part of their country, that just because they were Russian-speaking, and that went on for 8 years. And Russia waited 8 years to step in.
Yeah. Now they voted that area. They knew what the new government was. They knew how racist they were. Kind of, like us when Trump came in, we were all horrified, right? So they were horrified, and they voted to declare independence. And so that's what started it. But again, how did the government react? They started shelling the people. They started killing the people. And that went on for 8 years, and it accelerated with NATO support and drive right up until the point that Russia went in. So, they used that slogan right when Russia invaded. If you remember the word, they used it in every single press release, every outlet. Unprovoked. Russia invaded unprovoked. Absolute lie. He was provoked beyond belief. I mean, you do the equivalent. If I've said this before, but it really is a good way of looking at it. If Canada as a country started killing Canadian Americans because they were American, we would invade that country. And we would all support the invasion of that country. We would all be behind our president. If Mexico started killing Mexican Americans because they were American, we would go in and our country would support that president that invaded. That's what happened in Russia. The people of Russia supported this invasion because that was their family members. They had ties to the people in Donetsk and Donbass. So absolutely, we would have done the same thing.
Yeah, very, very provoked. And,
Absolutely
and
provoked.
So was October 7th.
Oh my God.
Couldn't have been more provoked.
Right. I mean, that's generations of provoked. That's since 1948 provoked. I mean, the apartheid system, all the checkpoints people had to go through for decades, being treated like crap forever and ever. And again, right, in Gaza, which was, people in America did not realize that Gaza used to have an airport until Israel blew it up. So then no one could escape. They put a barbed wire fence around the place with guards all around the entire city, and they had that since I don't know 1990 or something. It's
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And
now people are finding out the truth.
there is a difference. I mean, Ukraine is a sovereign nation.
Yes,
Palestine and Gaza is part of Israel. They control everything.
right.
So
I mean, they want their
that
country
is their
back,
own
but
people.
right.
But they don't have rights.
No,
have
none.
They don't have a self-determination, and
It
they
was
tried every peaceful means imaginable. The Great Right of Return, I don't remember the year,
2018,
but snipers kneecapped people for fun.
right? As they were just peacefully protesting.
Yeah.
They were just towards the edge of the fence. They were just out close to the edge. That's all it was.
Yeah. All the things. I mean, and you can bring this all the way back to the United States. What Jamal Bowman was saying on Bree's Bad Faith podcast. Well, we need to organize. We need to do this. We need to do that. And I'm like, well, we organized Force the Vote. You were a coward, and you did it.
Right.
You didn't do what you could when you had the leverage.
Right.
We organized the March for Medicare for All. I was part of that. I personally invited. I sent the email.
Yeah.
I know this happened.
Yes.
All of our politicians, every last one.
Yeah.
So this was under the Biden administration, 2021, July 24th of 2021.
Yep.
Nobody showed except for Cori Bush in DC. That's it.
Right.
535 invitations went out. One person showed up.
Yeah.
So we organized that. I know we're past time.
And that's the other thing I really want to add.
Chicago police story, but
People, oh yeah, well, we may not get to that until next week, but that's another thing I really want to add is that people, again, they have this mentality. Oh, well, the Democrats got one person to do something. You're supporting a party where one person out of the entire party? That's not good, people. Don't celebrate that you got 2 or 3 people. I mean, that's not a positive. That's a negative.
Bar.
I mean, that's a negative. Do not stop being spit on and take it as food. I mean, stop it. It's like stop supporting this party that's not supporting you by any means.
And here's the other thing I'll say too. Democrats will infiltrate, third-party spaces and convince people to come into their fold. It's kind of like the military recruiters that go into high schools. That's how I'm starting to see them. But they'll promise them everything, and then they'll suck you in, and then they'll keep you working and trying to get things accomplished. But at the end of the day, the leadership of the Democratic Party will not allow anything to happen. And that has been proven to us over and over. When are we going to get a clue?
I thought you were going in a different direction because for the Jill Stein campaign, I think it was, or the election, I think it was that one, the Democratic Party, and I'm forgetting the state, they went to those petitions that we talked about where we want you guys to go out and sign. They went and called those people up and tried to get them to take their names off of the petitions. I mean, that's the psychos that the Democrat, do you remember the state?
I think it was North Carolina, wasn't it?
North Carolina.
Ariel? Okay. I'm not sure, but they made the mistake of calling the chair of the party.
Right. That's right.
Ariel says yes, it was North Carolina.
Okay.
So they impersonated Green Party people,
right,
and did a phone banking,
right,
on purpose to remove us. Matt Ho. Yep, you're right.
Oh, it's Matt Ho. That's who they called. Yes, we've had about it.
He's like, what's that now? No, I am Green Party. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Total scam. Right. They're scammers, they're liars, they're cheaters, and they get paid by the same people.
Yeah, as a Republican.
I like to say, really people have those F Trump shirts things going around. So we on the front of the shirts it should say F Trump, F Musk. On the back of the shirt it should say F Bernie and F AOC. Do you know why?
Right. Yeah.
Republicans will stab you in the front. Democrats will stab you in the back.
Excellent. That's a great T-shirt idea. I love that. Yeah. And you should have little knives for each one. No, that's so perfect. That's so perfect. Yes. Stabbing in the back is exactly the method that the Democrats use.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you don't see it coming, and they
Yeah.
just keep you. All they're trying to do is keep you in line. Anything that you are getting ready to donate to, or any organization that's doing a rally, I want you to go look for the donate button.
Yes.
And if it goes to Act Blue, that is going to the Democratic Party.
Right.
So just be aware. This is what you're doing. If you're supporting this, you are supporting the Democratic Party, which funded the genocide.
And all those NGOs, all those organizations out there that look so wonderful, and they, in real time, they do really good work. Like there's the environmental groups, there's all kinds of groups, but then they actually are funded. Thank you, Yvonne. They're funded by the Democratic Party. So when it's time for the endorsement, they endorse the person that is completely against everything that they work for. So again, that's the point at which the people that run those organizations, they've sold out. That's the thing. I mean,
party, big one.
Workers, right. I get it. People want to have careers. I get it. But the Green Party is not the place where you go for a career. You're there because you really mean it. You believe it. You want real change.
Mm-hmm.
People go into the Democratic Party because they want a nice career. Yeah. That's the reality. And they can put up a good face. AOC, I mean, she can put up a good face sometimes. I think most of her stuff is word salad. But that's the reality. That's why they're there. Their career. That's what counts.
They get the big paycheck.
That's Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
He admitted it. He admitted it, that he did not want to turn into a Ralph Nader. He did it for his career. That's why he stayed in the evil Democratic Party.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he didn't want to end up like Ralph Nader.
Right.
And I would also say for Greens, we believe in being public servants. We believe in listening to you and not, because you will be our donors. So we listen to our donors. They just happen to be America.
Oh, right. And they listen to their donors too. It's just that those donors are billionaires.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Yeah,
that is the difference.
Bowman's thing is a super PAC. So I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Like Citizens United does not work on us because we have it in our bylaws that we will only accept $3,300 max from any one person. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you are.
And please, if you believe in the Democratic, I know our audience probably doesn't, but if you believe in the Democratic Party, just go watch that. Either one of those videos, Breonna Joy Gray with Bowman or Sabby doing a commentary on that video. Either one, you'll just see what a shallow person Bowman is. He's a fake. He's as fake as they get. And that's the thing. He doesn't have the talent to fake either.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, they're very bad at their job.
They are. I'm surprised.
So, Scott, did you want to put up that tweet about liberals?
Oh, yeah, it's kind of fun. Okay, I just see this random stuff on Twitter and Facebook. So this is from Ibarra 11, whoever that is, but thank you. Liberals love the shallow theater of politics, the sham hearings, dramatic speeches, late night talk shows, jokes, and memes. It's a soap opera to them. That's why they get mad when you talk about real issues. You're ruining their fun. And that's exactly what it is. That is a perfect description of liberals. It's armchair politics. It's the easy stuff that you can, and I'll admit, I've shared a meme in my day. They can be fun. I'm not, but the point is that's as deep as they get. They have no knowledge of Ukraine from 2014 to 2022. None. And what's worse is they refuse to listen to it because it doesn't come from their safe media, like their CNN, their BBC, and their public media, which is sold out a long time ago. They think they're in the right space, so they just, and it's easy stuff. That's one thing I've noticed. I have to admit it's kind of sad, but I've started watching Rachel Maddow now, and I hate that woman. I absolutely hate that woman. I hate that woman, but she's doing some pretty good anti-Trump stuff. But the second she'll switch to Russia, it is just the most horrific narrative you've ever heard. And that's the thing. They spin these narratives. evil dictator Putin, and it's a story glorifying Zelensky, and it's a narrative that they build. That's how they work. So they don't go. She stopped doing the facts with anti-Trump stuff. She gives you some facts, but when it comes now, then it's time for the narratives. Then it's the soft focus stuff. So watch out for that, people. Watch for that soft focus narrative. Oh, what was Putin thinking? What was Trump thinking?
Well, and the
please.
demonization, and that's
Right.
how control works.
Right.
Because if you're demonizing someone else,
Watch out whenever
they're
they
not
start.
looking at the person that's actually doing it. Like Rachel Maddow makes millions of dollars. That's not news, people.
Yeah.
News anchors do not make millions of dollars because they're not going to be that popular.
Yeah.
And Yvonne is asking about putting the links in the chat. I put in the one for NL. Guys, nice.
NALC.
Thank you. Postal workers. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
And did you want, if you wanted something else? Yeah, the Fight Like Hell. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And then of course you can go to ilgp.org. I'll just put this in there real quick. And check out all of our events. We have a ton of stuff going on.
There's a lot. Yeah. We're doing some canvassing for GoCon and for Peter Schwartzman. So that's happening this month. That's in DuPage County and down in Galesburg. And
location to be announced.
Yeah.
And also, please consider donating.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yes.
We can't, I mean, we're working class people. We don't have money.
Like
we're like you. Like, my $10 to somebody means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Like that's really putting my money where my mouth is, so even if it's just $10, I would like to say, since we're talking about Bernie, I want my damn $27 back times however many times I did that. So I challenge our 27 people plus watching.
Yeah, it is 27.
Donate $27 to the Green Party.
ilgp.org/donate, right?
I put it in the chat.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Just donate and help us out because we're gonna have to get petitions printed and flyers printed for our candidates and snacks for people when we have events, and there's a lot to be done.
Right.
We got new t-shirts coming.
Oh, right. By next week. Yes, you can get t-shirts at the ilgp.org/store is where they'll be. Right now there's an older t-shirt that only has like 3XL size, but by next week we're going to have new black t-shirts. So
So Yvonne's asking for the one with Brianna and Abby.
Okay.
So I don't know, Ariel, can you find that real quick since you're kind of behind the scenes? I put it in our text chat, but I didn't put it in here.
But I would also just recommend, just going to YouTube, searching on Brianna Joy Gray and searching on Sabby Sabs. We recommend them both. I think they're both brilliant, just brilliant. And they are, I'd say, not by far. They are the two YouTube channels that support the Green Party the most. They really do. And, it was interesting to watch the Jill Stein campaign, because before that had started in 2024, they weren't necessarily Green Party supporters. They kind of, I don't remember them ever mentioning, but they were both really impressed with Jill Stein, and now they are Green Party supporters. And so that's a really important move, like I said, with Sabby, because Sabby wants solutions. And so I think it's really important that the YouTube channel world, some of them, again, they're so harsh, they want to hate everybody. And so they, have not. That was one of my biggest complaints of Jimmy Dore. I mean, I used to follow him like crazy. And his attack on Jill Stein was because of somebody that she used to have friends with. And it's like guilt by association. And that didn't work. And I just have a real, again, you're going to knock down a solution? If you've got some legitimate policy issues with Jill Stein, make that your complaint. He didn't have any. No, it was an association thing.
Yeah. And who among us hasn't been in the room with somebody that we might find unsavory at some point?
And honestly, I followed the guy. I'm forgetting his name. Maybe somebody could post it. He was like the campaign manager, I think, briefly for I'm not sure, but he used to work for the enemy, right? He used to be Hillary Clinton's, and he was a scum asshole. He has really changed, and he apologizes for his past. And his posts are his posts are fantastic. Now, is he I don't think he's an infiltrator. I really don't. But Jimmy Dore thinks he is, and so therefore he destroyed. He wouldn't give Joe Stein a chance. That kind of crap I don't like. And
Wow.
Peter Dow, thank you.
Thank you, Ariel.
Yeah, thanks, Ariel.
I think he had a change of heart.
Oh my God, his posts. I mean, his posts are fantastic. He can't be faking it for this long.
No, because once you see it, this is what I'm saying, people. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you got that critical thinking cap on, like our buddy Joe Harrington likes to say, put your critical thinking on and really listen to Bernie and AOC, what they're saying. Really listen. They're defining the problem over and over and over and over, and putting the action on you to get it done, not themselves. They are in government. They are not fighting.
Right.
So,
right. Absolutely.
I feel better. Catharsis for today.
This has been very cathartic. Yeah. No, I mean, it's an intense time. It is an intense time. And we have to fight back in every way that we can, but also provide some solutions, which, Green Party is a solution to problems. Right.
Yeah.
So,
last thing I'll mention, I just saw my friend Yvonne, which is in the chat. She sent me a text that Durbin was one of the ones to pass the budget.
Right.
He caved and voted to pass the budget.
Right. Dick Durbin. Wonderful Dick Durbin.
Like, God only knows what's in that thing.
Yeah.
Are we still going to get our Social Security? Are we still going to have Medicaid? Are we still?
No, that was a Green Party member from Illinois who posted how he studies this stuff, and I feel so bad I can't think of his name right now. Anna was going to have dinner with him to talk on a personal level. And anyway, he studies this stuff, and he goes, this is the first time he has not been able to find a single record out there of the actual information about what got passed. He goes, he's never, and he studies this stuff. And he goes, I can't find it anywhere. This is horrific. People have no idea what's going on. And no one is telling us what's happening. What was signed in that bill? We don't know.
Yep. That is
no,
true.
I mean, things get worse and worse and worse and worse.
So they're doing this in secret.
Yeah.
Doge is a secret by an unelected a-hole that is the richest in the world. Do you really trust your Social Security check to that guy? Come on.
Oh my God.
And I was proud of the veterans, how they were just saying, they cut the VA, they're firing disabled veterans. Disabled veterans work for the government. They're trying to defund the government, which they've long had as their dream. So they can create chaos, so they can steal all of our money and leave the country. This is what's happening, people.
Yeah.
I don't have the proof, but I just feel it in my heart. I know that's what they're doing, because you got to watch how this has always happened. This is the playbook. Okay.
Right.
So, I guess we're good. Thank everybody for being here. Please donate to your local Green Party or Illinois Green Party. Start a chapter, get busy, get in your community, build plant a garden.
There you go. And stop in every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time and Saturday at noon Central Time for a green live stream. We are here twice a week now. We will usually have guests on Wednesdays and keep the Saturdays to just topics. But I mean, we're not super strict on that either. So we'll see what goes on. But so we're looking forward to Wednesdays. So please stop in Wednesday.
Greens are super flexible.
Ah.
We're not rigid. See you guys on Wednesday.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for coming. See ya.
An uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising. Fight the power. It's an uprising.